Hey crew, I want to go over some wrist warm-up exercises you can do, as well as some wrist strengthening exercises you can do. You'll want to do this warm-up before doing any gymnastic movements. So if you're doing handstands or L-sits or any heavy lifting where you're pushing, so bench press, overhead press, that sort of thing. It can really help with that. And then, like I said, we'll go over some wrist strengthening exercises afterwards. All right, so for the wrist warm-up, you're gonna wanna get on all fours, and basically you just kind of wanna warm up the wrists in a couple ways. One is moving at the elbow, so you want to turn your elbow to face forward and then turn your elbow out. So now this moves like I'm moving my entire arm as a unit, so I'm getting some rotation in the shoulder as well, but only a little bit. This is really just sort of to moving things here, and you can do both at the same time, okay? So we're gonna do that, and you can do each of these about 10 times, okay? Then you want to work on leaning forward. So you want to have your hands flat underneath you. Now most of my weight is actually, my hands are pretty close to my knees. I'm not in a full tabletop position. I'm keeping my hands so that most of my weight is on my knees, but I am putting a little pressure on my hands here. And I'm going to rock forward, rock back and forth to just put a little weight on my hands to get them sort of used to any pressure that I'm going to be putting on them in a bit. So that's another thing we can do. And then this is like probably a horrible thing to say. I call this one the Temple of Doom. If you've seen Indiana Jones, you want to just go around in circles. And if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. Go around in circles one way, go around in circles the other way. If you want, chant Kali Ma while you're doing it. All right. So then the other thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you warm up your wrists in the other direction. So you're going to want to put the backs of your hands down. Now this is where you really want to make sure your weight is in your legs and not on your arms, because this is not comfortable, okay? Try to get the backs of your hands completely flat on the ground and then pull back a little bit. So I'm moving in, before I was moving my weight forward, now I'm moving my weight back, okay, to get that stretch. Another way, earlier when I was doing the arm thing, you can do this the other direction too. In this case, I'm gonna sit completely on my heels. I'm going to do the Vulcan salute, and I'm gonna put that under my knees. So now my hands are trapped by my knees, and I can really get that rotation this way as well. All right, so that really helps us warm up our wrists before we put any pressure on them. And that's pretty much it. Like I said, you kind of want to do about 10 of those movements per exercise. So, okay, so we did the arm rotation with our hands flat. We did our arm rotation, Vulcan salute. So you're trapping your hands under your knees. We're doing the rotations this way. We lean forward. I think this is a better angle. Lean forward to get your body used to that, the weight in the hands. Put your hands flat, lean back, and if you want, you could do the Vulcan salute thing here too. You don't really get as much, I feel like I don't get as much of a stretch as if it's out here and I'm leaning back. And then do circles one way and circles the other way. So that is that's to warm up your wrists. Now let's talk about strengthening the wrists. And I want to do this without moving the camera, but I don't happen to have weights at home, which sucks. So I'm going to use my water bottle as weight. This is also your reminder to stay hydrated. So what you can do, and you don't want to use a lot of weight for this anyways. So things to strengthen your wrists. One thing you can do to strengthen your wrist is any sort of squeezing, right? So you can start just by squeezing your hand with nothing. You could get like a stress ball and squeeze that. You can work up to using those hand strengtheners where there's like, it's basically a giant metal spring and you're just squeezing it. And they make those in various resistances, so you can really work up to getting stronger. So that's one thing you could do. The other thing you could do is curls with your wrist. Instead of doing curls with your biceps, right, because this is working my bicep, I'm going to rest my arm on my leg and just curl with my arm. And I can do this all 4 directions if I wanted to, right? I can curl this way to strengthen. I can flip my hand over, and this is a lot harder with a water bottle without a regular weight because I have no way of holding underneath here, but I can curl back up this way, okay? This is much easier with something smaller that I can actually get my hand around. I can't quite get my hand around the entire water bottle, so I can do curls this way. I can let my wrist fall this way and bring the water bottle up this way. This is when people joke about doing 16-ounce curls with like a beer can, right? These are your 16-ounce curls. This is a 25-ounce water bottle because I'm a pro. And then if I want to get the other side of this wrist, I have to do it. And the funny thing is, everything I'm doing here, it can be done with the biceps too. You can do curls with the biceps this way. I have seen people do bicep curls this way. And then I always do my bicep curls this way, a hammer curl, because for the explicit reason that doing curls this way puts a lot less pressure on your wrists than doing them this way, okay? So I need to do this more often to strengthen my wrists because it hurts to do curls like this. It bothers my wrists, and I find that doing it the hammer way works better. But if I want to work the back side of my wrist, I have to do what would basically be a tricep kickback, right? So I need to hold the weight out here and and again, keep in mind that I'm trying to only work my wrist when I do this, right? So I'm only trying to work my wrist. I'm not trying to work my entire arm, just my wrist. And so that's kind of awkward, but you get the idea. So, and again, that's one of those things where if you want to throw it into like your arm workout, at the end of doing your arm workout, throw in some wrist curls, front and back. If you want to do the sides, you can. Not that big of a deal. But that's something that will help strengthen your wrist. What you're really doing is strengthening part of your forearms, right? That's a lot of where your grip strength is. And yeah. So that is a wrist warm-up you can do. The other thing it helps with is if you're doing like plank work. I know for some of us, like it hurts your wrists to try and hold a plank for a long time. And so you end up maybe doing it on your elbows instead. Or if you're doing certain yoga poses, it's like it starts hurting your wrists. Warm your wrists up before you do that, and hopefully that will help. Hopefully this was helpful. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.